Kevin and Njikam, aka Formless Heights. I'm with today's Future Sound. You're watching Speak with Beats, School of Sound. So today we're going to talk about chords, in particular chords that go along with the major scale. Cool. So let's get into chords. So before we talked about major scale, now we're going to talk about all the chords that go along with the major scale. So with any scale, you have chords that naturally fall within it. And so there's a pattern to that, which if you can remember the pattern, then you're good to go. You can apply that pattern to any key, any scale, kind of like that. So the pattern for major scale, well first, we'll recap in C major and stuff we were doing, which if you guys remember, that was C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So C, if you notice, there's 7 notes, and the 8th note is the octave. So C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to C. So we can easily refer to those as the numbers, because then you can move it around any key if you just remember it as the numbers. So C, the one chord in a major scale, the one chord is going to always be major. That looks like this. It's chord. Basics of a chord is a triad, which is also like the root or the 1, 3, 5 of what makes up the chord. So starting in C, then you go up the third degree of the scale degree, starting from C is E, and then up to 4 or 5, the 5th is G, and that's what gives you the C chord, or the 1 chord, 1, 3, 5. So if you notice, it sounds kind of bright, it's major. So the 1 chord is always going to be major. So the 2 chord, in this case, is a D, but the 2 chords are always going to be minor, because starting on D, if you go D up 1, 2, 3, gives you F, up to 5, 5th from there is A. So that gives you D minor, which has a more darker sound. And third, starting 3 is E, so you count up 3, brings you to G, up to the 4, 5, brings you to B, this is E, that's minor, so the third's going to be minor, and the 4, which in this case is F, 3, 5, sounds pretty bright, it's major, so the 4 chord is always going to be major, the 5th chord is also going to always be major, 6th chord is going to be minor, because we saw the video before talking about scales. We get the relative minor scale comes off of the 6th degree of the major scale. So your 6th chord is also going to be minor. B, or your 7th degree of the scale, is a little bit different. And so it's also would be counting up 3 and the 5th degrees from where you start at, from the 7th, but this one's diminished. It's diminished because of the intervals in between the notes. There's 3 half steps in between each note of the chord. Anytime you do a series of 3 half steps to make a chord, that gives you a diminished chord, no matter where you are. So the 7th degree of the scale gives you a diminished chord, and then the next one brings you back to the 1, back to C, in this case, 1. So to recap that, the 1 chord is always going to be major, your 2 chord is always going to be minor, 3 chord is always going to be minor, 4 chord is always going to be major, 5 chord major, 6 chord be minor, 7th chord is going to be diminished, and then you're back at the octave. So, and it's always going to be those qualities if you're trying to do chords in a major scale. or in a major key. Okay, so just a quick recap. We're going over the chords of scale, in particular chords of the major scale, and all the chords that naturally fall within it, and the pattern of major and minor, for each scale degree that you're at. I'm Kevin Njikam, aka Formless Heights, with Today's Future Sound. You can donate to us. We're a nonprofit that teaches beat making to kids in schools and all over the world. And stay tuned for the next lesson in the School of Sound. Peace.